Good morning, SKN. I'm Jamie Morris.
And I am Cortensia Carty, and it is a day of a lot of things. So it's World Puppetry Day, World Memory Day, World French Bread Day, National Single Parent Day, it is World Poetry Day, it is International Fragrance Day, and a lot of other days. But most importantly, it is World Down Syndrome Day. And welcome to Good Morning SKN. As we begin with the local news. This from SKNIS. On Wednesday, the 15th of March, 2023, Mistress Natasha Bird, head of the bilateral unit in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, signed the Constitutive Agreement of the Latin America and Caribbean Space Agency, ALSI, on behalf of the government of St. Kitts and Nevis in a brief ceremony held at the Foreign Affairs in Mexico. This makes St. Kitts and Nevis the 20th country to sign the agreement. ALSI originated in 2020 and is intended to improve regional satellite telecommunication systems, accelerate digital transformation, increase public services and social inclusion, and enhance the capacity of our observation systems for agriculture, natural disasters, security, and surveillance, among others. The agency will also emphasize opportunities for cooperation and exchange of scientific and technological knowledge in order to promote the development and well-being of the Latin American and Caribbean countries.
And in other news from Win Media SKN, in observance of World Water Day celebrated annually on March 22nd, Minister with responsibility for infrastructure and utilities, the Honorable Congress Maynard, highlighted the fact that only 1% of water in the world can be used for drinking. Hence, human survival depends heavily on how we utilize water in light of climate change. The Honorable Minister Maynard said, quote, "Today, all we hear about is climate change. Is climate change real, and is it a concern for us here in St. Kitts and Nevis?" Again, the experts at the Water Services Department have indicated that over the past 10 years, we've seen about an 18% decrease in the average annual rainfall. This is serious. While we cannot predict the future, we have to prepare for various scenarios, including longer dry periods and shorter, more intense wet seasons. The bottom line is that as the climate changes, our availability of fresh water will change, and hence we have to adapt, end quote. In response to this global phenomenon, Minister Maynard said the government of St. Kitts and Nevis will put in place the necessary investments so that the country can be more water resilient.
That's great stuff. Our next story comes from SKNIS. The Governor General, Her Excellency Dame Marcella Liebert, after consultation with the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition, has designated Reverend Bishop Cyprian Williams to act as Ombudsman. Bishop Williams began operating initially as of yesterday, March 20th, 2023, from the Integrity Commission's office on the second floor of the Delil Warwin Building, Liverpool Road, Bastille, St. Kitts. The government considers the presence of an ombudsman as an important element of its good governance transformation. Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew said, and quote, "The government has committed to the people of our federation that we will govern with transparency and accountability. Our people have not had the ability to seek assistance from an ombudsman for 6 years, since 2017, and we have moved swiftly to reintroduce this important democratic institution. The Ombudsman is empowered by statute to investigate any administrative action of a government authority for the purpose of deciding whether there is evidence of maladministration on the part of the authority and to make recommendations pursuant to an investigation to the authority concerning any administrative action that formed the subject of the investigation, and generally about ways of improving its administrative practices and procedure."
Time now for a check of our local weather. There'll be light rain showers with a high of 81 degrees today and a low of 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Take a look at your forecast as we head to a break. More GMSKN in a moment.
Dreamy Decor specializes in flowers for all events, from birthdays to weddings and any other special occasion. What's a better way to express to the people you love than by providing the finest selection of beautiful flowers and gifts? So when you think of flowers, think of us, Dreamy Decor.
Yeah.
An exotic experience.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Time now for the latest in regional news. This from Antigua Newsroom. The director of the Barbados Meteorological Service, BMS, Sabu Best, is warning Barbadians that they should be prepared for a long drought period, given that, quote, there is not going to be any rainfall that is going to be coming in anytime soon, end quote. Best said that over the past couple of weeks, there has been a, quote, significant reduction in rainfall across the island, end quote, and that the dry conditions, dry air, and abundance of sunshine is actually leading to a lot of drying out of the topsoils across the island, and a lot of areas are actually turning brown in the fields and cane fields. He said, quote, I just want all Barbadians to be aware that you can expect to see the possibility of more fires in the days to come, and just be ready and be prepared. This is not an uncommon thing to actually happen during the dry season, end quote. He said the forecast for the future is that March is going to be really dry.
On the international scene, we continue now. This from CNN. There's cause for optimism in the latest report on world happiness. For one, benevolence is about 25% higher than it was pre-pandemic. John Halliwell, one of the authors of the World Happiness Report, said in an interview with CNN, and quote, benevolence to others, especially the helping of strangers, which went up dramatically in 2021, stayed high in 2022, end quote. Life evaluations from 2020 to 2022 have been, end quote, remarkably resilient. The report says, with global averages basically with the same 3 years preceding the pandemic, Halliwell said in a news release, and quote, even during these difficult years, positive emotions have remained twice as prevalent as negative ones, and feelings of positive social support twice as strong as those of loneliness, end quote. The report, which is a publication of the UN Sustainable Development Solutions Network, draws on global survey data from people in more than 150 countries. So that is great news indeed.
Definitely so.
Keep caring and sharing. Well, there you have it for regional and international news. We have so much more for you. Stay tuned.
Good morning. Good morning. This is Karen of Paris and support from Paris, Vermont. I want to encourage y'all to sign on to Good Morning SKN every morning from 8 to 10 at Studio 327. Thanks.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Good morning, SKN. This is Lyrical. I just want to say blessings to you. There are a happy place in the life if you live in there. A happy place in the life if you live in there. Cause them at a happy place in the life. And they can't change. And they just come out here to do right. So whether day or night, they will never ever change. Blessings, blessings, and blessings.
Yesterday officially marked the beginning of spring. To welcome in the season, Cortensi and I will be looking at how, just like the weather, our life experiences too come in seasons.
Yeah, nothing lasts forever. We do have seasons. We have a season to be baby. You have a season to be a little feisty partner. We just have plenty of seasons, right? Is this our last season?
I don't know.
Guys, I ask that because we are in the age where we're getting over the hill, go down the hill. So yeah.
Really? That's you. Speak for yourself. As far as I'm concerned, there's dry season and a wet season. Spring. Interesting. All right. Here we go.
So there's what? There is spring, there is summer, there is fall, and then there's winter, right?
In the Caribbean, there's a dry season and a wet season and more dry season than wet season.
Oh boy.
So
and some scorching sun. That's nice. That's nice. Yes, yes. It's very nice. We get a lot of vitamin D here in the Caribbean. You just have to go outside for like 5 minutes or less.
It's about recommended, I suppose.
Yep. So, as we await, okay, so seasons of our lives. Want to take it away? Let me be gentleman first today.
Really? Listen, it is what it is, right? All right, so we should not judge our life based only on the current season we are in.
Mm-hmm. You should know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, or
Really? Not for
or a
everyone.
silver lining. Huh?
Really? That's not
Yeah.
true. We lie. That is not true. We say that a lot.
So we say that, but you've never had a silver lining at the end of your cloud or
Yes,
a
but
light
it
at the
doesn't
end
mean that it comes at the end of every tunnel, does it?
Depending.
That's what we say to give ourselves hope. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You just have to be okay with the outcome no matter what. And I think that is the lesson that needs to be taken away from all these things. A lot of these things that we say, yeah, they sound good to say. We want to hold on to something positive, and we do that. This particular thing reminds me of, let's say, a dichotomy of thought, because in one instance, you could be looking forward to something that's better. So you might be saying, okay, this is not the darkest season. In the other instance, you could have actually had your glory days already, and you're looking back at the past because things are so bad and so bleak, you don't even know where you're going to go from there. So that's why I say it's dichotomy.
Yeah.
So if you want to look back on the past and be like, yeah, this was my life's value, this is great, don't just judge it based on the season that you're in.
Yeah. Don't you dare judge it. Things will get better, as we often say, as Jamie said. We like to say that. But yeah, let's not judge our lives based on what we are going through. So every season has a purpose. Wow. Yeah, some seasons come to teach us something, and some seasons are just here to put us in check.
I'm thinking that you're still learning, though.
Yeah. You learn until you die, as far as I'm concerned. Once you don't get Alzheimer's, you learn until you die, because then you forget everything that you know. So yeah. So every season, as I said, we were that little, then we grew up a bit, then we grew up some more, then we grew up, and then we're here now, and we're just moseying along until that time. So every season, there's a. You see, we say a lot of things. Every season, there's a purpose.
Which there is.
Yeah.
You just have to figure out what it is.
What season are you in?
Trying season.
Wow.
Okay. Season where I need to learn patience and to keep my mouth shutter than it normally is. All right, seasons of our lives. No matter what the current season is, it will change again.
So your season will change. I want to anticipate that for you. I'm not even going to tell you.
I'm not saying that it's a bad season. I'm just saying it
sounded
it is
rough.
what it is. It sounded rough.
Yeah.
Listen, I've been learning a lot of lessons, put it that way.
Wow. Okay.
All right. So no matter what the current season is, it will change again. I don't know that I believe that, but we'll see. Again, these are things that we say because we don't know if we're going to die tomorrow.
We don't know.
It sounds great, doesn't it? No matter what the current
You
season
put it
is,
so far. Tomorrow.
It will change again.
You put it so far.
That.
We don't know if the next 2 hours belongs to us.
I don't know. It is what it is. I really don't know.
Yeah.
But hey, as long as you're alive, keep hope alive, right?
Keep hope alive, as Jamie said. Yeah. That's the least we can do. Because if we are all negative, then boy, we're gonna be in problems. But why do we have to have seasons, though? GMSKN Nation, tell me. Have you figured it out? Why do we need seasons? Why can't everything just go wow all the time? Why is it we have to have disagreements? Why is it the list is too long. The list is too long. The list is too long. So the season of winter, sadness, heartbreak, loneliness, and sickness. I know for the folks in Europe, when I see some of their TikToks on YouTube, I'm like, wow, these people are going through a lot, because they are complaining that it's supposed to be March. It's supposed to be spring. Well, they're not complaining that it's March. They're saying it's March and it's supposed to be spring. So they're complaining of the fact that the weather is gloomy and gray and people are getting sick and the weather wants to keep people depressed and all these things. And I'm like, but nobody can control the weather but the universe. So I get where they're coming from, but they're complaining. And remember when they were complaining about having to pay their heating bill, some people committed suicide. And it's just hard that when it's winter in the UK, I feel so bad for them. Because even my cousin says, I can't see the sun and I don't like it, it's too gray. And I'm like, wow. And we have the sunshine and we take our old sunshine for granted. But I just wish winters wasn't that cruel to people that have to go through them. You know.
Yeah. All right, so we're celebrating spring. Apparently in the tropics, we're celebrating spring, guys. Season of spring, hope, new beginnings, and opportunities. So that's what this season ought to represent. Hope, new beginnings, and opportunities. So look forward to those things in your life. I'm not reading your horoscope, although it kind of sounds like it.
Yeah, it does. And the fact that spring is always new, I guess that's the inclination. It's the new thing. Flowers are blooming. The colors are up. It's no longer gray in some parts of the world. Well, I shouldn't say that because some people may. Oh, yes, folks. In the UK, especially in England, I hope the sun comes over really soon and your gray skies all go away. Yeah, and you get some sunshine and you become happy. Yeah. So the season of summer, signs of growth, need for protection, and abundance of distractions. Those signs of growth. Oh, I hope we get a lot of growth this summer because we just reported that it's going to be really hot. We've been seeing that drought. Wow. So who grows in the summer? Maybe the kids from school. Because that's the time by then they get back out in September. No, but for real, Jamie, by the time you see them in September, wait, what happened to you? Their voices changes. You could tell me you're a teacher, right? Didn't you? Yeah. Did you ever left a student at second form when they came back at third form? You're like, who are you? Uber grown. No? Okay.
No.
Just saying, uber grown. Wow. And then distractions. I can't even say spring break because it's not. Spring break is not then. But a lot of distractions. We go on vacation. We forget our diets. We shop a lot, so we overspend. We say, oh, this is our break from school, and we don't catch up on some work that we know we have to do because when school opens, the teacher's waiting for it. Well, play a lot of video games. We sleep extra late, so now when September morning comes, it's hard to get back in the groove of things. Wow. So y'all be on par. Don't let summer distract you this summer.
And the season of fall. Achievements and failures.
Yeah.
I guess there's a balance. Achievements and failures. Season of fall.
So you bounce out of summer, catch up, and then failures. And when I think about failures, Jamie, I think about the falling of the leaves. Should I say the trees are failing? No, they're not. They're just acclimatizing to the weather, right? But yeah. Wow. And then you go into the winter where you get unhappy.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, because that's what winter season said.
For some. If you love the snow, it's fine. If you love the cold, it's also fine.
But what happens when it's too cold?
You stay indoors if you can.
Well, a lot of people didn't have that opportunity to stay indoors and be warm. Wow. I'm here pondering and thinking, boy, we're living in a rough world. We have our good days, but then we have our bad. Wow, what a world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Alrighty, with that said, that was our discussion for today on the seasons of our lives and the seasons that we all know. So with that said, we'll take a short break and we'll see you on the other side of it.
Dreamy Decor specializes in flowers for all events, from birthdays to weddings and any other special occasion. What's a better way to express to the people you love than by providing the finest selection of beautiful flowers and gifts? So when you think of flowers, think of us, Dreamy Decor.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Dreamy Decor specializes in flowers for all events, from birthdays to weddings and any other special occasion. What's a better way to express to the people you love than by providing the finest selection of beautiful flowers and gifts? So when you think of flowers, think of us, Dreamy Decor.
Yo, what up? It's your boy N Richie right here at Studio 327. I'm here to give you the promo that you guys need, because this is something special for St. Kitts. I'm telling you, tune in to Good Morning SKN, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and on Moment Channel 4. Also, I realize nobody else is doing this. Follow the Good Morning SKN Instagram at Good Morning SKN and the Studio 327 Inc. Instagram. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook. This is pretty long, but follow us and yeah.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Yeah, my voice wants to go already. So to loosen up this morning, Jamie and I will be discussing the importance of self-reflection. So as Socrates famously said, the unexamined life is not worth living. Okay, let's try this again. As Socrates said, and quote, the unexamined life is not worth living. What does the quote mean to you?
If you don't look at yourself, you're dead.
Really?
Okay.
Wow, I know.
The unexamined life is not worth living. Well, am I? Really? It's part of life to examine things, I suppose, so examine yourself.
You got something under your chin. I
What
don't
do I
think
have
it's
under my chin? I have no idea.
You need to pull it up.
What?
Yeah.
Somebody's here. I wonder where this came from. It's not mine. It's not that long.
All right. So with that said, do you self-reflect ever so often?
Aha! Too much.
Mm.
Too many times to count. I do that
Oh,
too
wow.
much. I'm doing it right now, actually.
Oh, okay.
All right. What about you? Well, it makes sense. We're talking about it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I do self-reflect because I need to see where I'm lacking, where I need to grow, what I need to do to improve, etc., etc. So a lot. But sometimes I over self-reflect. Like I'll sit there in my mind and I have a million things going on, and then when the situation does arise, that's not the case. So I have a very overreactive mind. I have to learn to get that under control. So I'm still trying. Still trying.
All right, so regularly practicing self-reflection can strengthen your awareness and help you to identify patterns in your decision-making.
So self-reflection is taking the time to give serious thought to your behaviors, your thoughts, attitudes, motivations, and desires. It's the process of diving deep into your thoughts and emotions and motivations and determining the great why behind them. Without self-reflection, we simply go through life without making time to evaluate whether things are actually going well. Also, as we said before, we sit and we have to, well, we don't know, we don't sit all the time to self-reflect, but we self-reflect. Like, as Akila was here yesterday, you go to your motivational coach, and she'll be like, what are you doing? How is this helping? Where do you see this behavior getting you in the next however long years or months or weeks or whatever? So yeah, we have to all self-reflect. Without self-reflection, we'll think we're fine. We'll go about doing things willy-nilly. We won't look at how our actions affect others, etc., etc.
Or ourselves.
Yeah.
Because I think before you start looking at others, you really have to look. That's what it's about. It's self-reflection.
Yeah.
So how does it benefit you? How does it hurt you? Do you maintain the status quo? Is that working for you? All of those questions need to be answered when you begin to reflect. And introspection is not an easy process, obviously. Although it could be rewarding in a lot of ways, more so than detrimental, because it causes change, positive change.
Yeah.
I would hope, not negative ones.
Boy. I've never met a person that I can say don't have self-reflection, or maybe I've never looked at it that way. But I've never encountered someone that's so brutal that they don't know when it's time to self-reflect. But how important, Jamie, you think is self-reflection on...
Here we go.
Should I
ready for it?
Yeah.
Okay. Very important. Very important. It is one's compass. It lets you know where you are relative to where you ought to be going, based on what you've predetermined for yourself.
Wow. So guys, we need to self-reflect. So what are some of the things, you can let us know in the comment, that you do to self-reflect? When you self-reflect, what do you do? Just binge watch on your Netflix, or?
No, that's not reflection. That's looking outward. That's distracting myself from the obvious. When I reflect, remember that bobblehead game? I don't know if it was a bobblehead game. I feel like there were games that I played as a child that had a mallet, that placed a mallet in my hand, and I would do that. There are a couple of people that I'm seeing, and I just do that. That's my reflection. I go, yeah, that's my reflection. And it's actually therapeutic. I'm sure some of you have tried it mentally, not necessarily physically. Physically is a bad thing. Don't cross that threshold, I beg you.
No, it's not a bad thing.
Yes, it is.
Because it's a game. Whack-a-mole is a game. But don't, but I get what Jamie's saying. Don't take up a mallet and whack somebody for real, because they'll make space for you at 1840. But yeah.
They can find you. So, because we've had our instances.
This sounds like this is a fair enact.
All right.
This sounds like a Houdini movement. Oh, wow. I
do that. Nobody else does that. Seriously. Like, you take a pillow and you go, oh, this is going to represent that person. All right, here you go. There's the garbage. Go there.
Take the pillow and scream under it.
No, there's nothing I can do. You literally just go like,
wishing like,
there's my imaginary garbage, and there's that person.
Wow.
Awesome.
Whoa.
Right.
Whoever has been messing with Jamie, leave Jamie alone, please.
Thank you. Awesome. Wow. Clear communication. Finally, we got it.
Oh my gosh.
Wonderful.
Leave Jamie alone.
All right.
Leave Jamie alone.
Yeah, some lessons are harder to learn than others, so it might take another iteration. There's a season to everything. We talked about that, so they might not do that yet.
But I still don't understand, why is it we make it so hard for each other? Why? Why?
There's some questions in life I don't want the answer to.
And you know, what would you want to know? I want to know, know why is it we think that, okay, let's say we're at a job and the boss makes it his or her duty that every morning you come through the door. Then they're going to come do that. Like, throw it on your desk, not put it down nice because they're out for you. And then you're there, you're doing your work. Have you finished my paper? But how am I going to be finished your paper? You just give me that paper 10 minutes ago. Or come and walk this down to so-and-so. And then come back in the next 25 minutes. Have you done? You asked me to walk something down to so-and-so that was in the next building that took me 15 minutes because there was traffic and I had to cross. And then you come back for that paper? Okay. Jamie, did I hit the nail on the head? But no, yeah, it has some bosses like that, and they just pick on you every day. Just don't say anything. Just zip your lips and show with the key. Yeah. No, because even when at my previous job, right? Not my previous ground job, but my 12-year job, I remember there were situations when some of my former colleagues came to work to ensure that the other person was miserable for the entire duration of the flight, and that was crazy. Because even the passengers could have picked it up. Like, why would you set out to make somebody's life that hard because you don't like them? Just go to work, do your work, go home. Why? It makes no sense.
And the rest of you do like me. As a matter of fact, you do this, right?
Zip your lips.
3 things.
So,
can't close your ears, right? But you can hear them up. So you hear nothing, you see nothing, you say nothing. You
do some. Oh, so that means you do nothing then?
You're literally deaf.
Dumb?
Dumb and blind, right?
Oh, wow. No,
so it's rated DBV, right? Or it's just silent. Silent.
Wow.
Blind. Because external, internal, barrier keeps your peace. It's great. That's how you reflect, because you know that letting those things inside or past that barrier is going to be problematic, and you might not be in a position to change those things coming at you, so you just change how you react to them as much as you can.
But the animosity that you develop in that process towards those persons or people.
What is that? What? You've thrown them in the garbage. Didn't you see me do that earlier? I just was like, that's the mental.
Imagine every morning I have to pretend I'm throwing you in the garbage or dunking you in a basketball and bucket and hoping you land on your head. But it's just too much for my brain.
It is? No, I think it's therapeutic.
Okay, to each his own. To each his own.
I think it's therapeutic. Like, nobody... Come on, I watched an episode of The Fresh Prince when George and Wheezy from... I forgot the name of that show. Anyway.
Moving on up. What is it? The Jeffersons.
Right.
Yeah.
And they were in therapy. And the therapist gave them some paddles, and they were literally whacking one another, and that was great therapy. So I thought, wow, this is amazing.
I remember that episode.
I'm going to pretend for a second
that you have invisible paddles.
Oh, this is great. And then I see those people, and I go, wow.
We should have that at workplaces in school, and this is something. We say we have guidance counselor, but we should allow people to express their emotions in a safe space. So as Jeremy said, we get the paddles or the bats, and we just whack each other until we're cool, and life will be good, because imagine we're getting all that animosity whilst not getting too violent.
By the way, if you don't like me, don't touch me. Because you're not going to whack me. I'm going to tell you that right now. We're going to keep it mental, but you're not going to whack me, okay? We're not going to get
You're not going to get whacked?
Okay, not at all. Not at all.
Jamie, it might be fun.
Hello.
So you're just throwing 2 extra boinks at the end of it. When they say stop, you just do boink, boink. Oh my gosh. Listen. If you know you're disturbing someone's body hour.
Is it time to collect the garbage yet? We're talking about seasons here. You've thrown some people away. Don't pick them back up, I beg you.
No, we're not. We're not picking them back up. But if
be happy.
Yeah, indeed. Don't worry. Be happy. Yesterday was Happiness Day. You cannot make somebody's life that difficult every day. That person is going to eventually explode and burst.
No, they're not.
Then what?
No, they're not. No, they're not at all.
No.
At least I won't. It's just...
No, but some people hold and hold and hold, and I've been around folks that when they burst, not towards me, but when they burst, Jesus, you want to know if that's the same quiet person you saw walking down the street. Yeah, Jamie, but yeah, I don't want you to be a blower, so...
I will never be.
Leave
that's not
my
co-host
alone.
That's not going to happen at all. I'm fine. That's not going to happen. I'm like Zen, right?
You're self-reflected and I'm
just like, Zen. We're gonna and Zen.
Yeah.
Be Zen. More when we come back.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
See it.
An exotic experience.
Dreamy Decor specializes in flowers for all events, from birthdays to weddings and any other special occasion. What's a better way to express to the people you love than by providing the finest selection of beautiful flowers and gifts? So when you think of flowers, think of us, Dreamy Decor.
Good morning, SKN. This is Lyrical. I just want to say blessings to you. There are a happy place in the life if you live in there. A happy place in the life if you live in there. Cause them at a happy place in the life. And they can't change. And they just come out here to do right. So whether day or night, they will never ever change. Blessings, blessings, and blessings.
morning. This is Karen of Paris and Zippo from Paris, Vermont. I want to encourage y'all to sign on to Good Morning SKN every morning from 8 to 10 at Studio 327. Thanks.
Today is World Down Syndrome Day. Since 2007, this international observance has been marked on the 21st of March to raise awareness about Down syndrome and to advocate for the rights, inclusion, and well-being of people living with this condition. In honor of this day, we have the pleasure of speaking with Michelsa Edmead, a teacher at the Cotton Thomas Comprehensive School. Michelsa is here to enlighten us on this condition and her experience as an early stimulation educator to persons with Down syndrome. Welcome to GMSKN, Michelsa.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here today.
Our pleasure.
Definitely a pleasure indeed. All right, so I want to begin by focusing on the obvious, World Down Syndrome Day. The theme for this year is with us, not for us. Right. What are your thoughts on
this? The theme is actually more rounded for a more unified stance towards Down syndrome, because most times, you know, we see a lot of segregation when it comes to children who are with special needs. So instead of separating the cause, meaning that, you know, oh, this section is Down syndrome, okay, we're just gonna, because we just want to show support. But we want everybody to come together and see that anyone can have a child with Down syndrome. It's not something that, oh, this person's gonna do, you know, this person's gonna get one. Is, you know, it's a genetic, I guess, malfunction, if you want to call it like that. So we're looking for a more unified approach, just to have a more inclusive environment here.
Nice. So what particularly is Down syndrome?
It's actually a condition where a person is actually born with an extra chromosome. That's the reason why we wear the socks, because they're shaped like a chromosome, so mismatched. So normally you get 23 pairs from your mom, 23 pairs from your dad, which equals 46, but a person with a Down syndrome would have an extra one, which will equal 47. So, right.
All right, so in your work with children like this, I imagine that you have come across, let's say, how it affects people in general.
You mean affect them?
Yeah.
Or?
So we know what it is. Do we know how it affects people living with Down syndrome?
Well, other than a learning disability, it's more of a physical, features. You mostly see how they look. They have a different look. You will see the almond-shaped eyes, a shorter neck, or like someone who's has a smaller build. Yes. That's how you mostly see them. And they also have like really loose curls. So they, you can pick them out and single them out and say, well, this person has Down syndrome. But I mean, that's not something that we want to practice. But if we want to allow the community to identify them, not to bring them down, but just to have a more inclusive environment where you would involve them in more sporting activities, because they're very loving and they're capable. It's just that it's more of a learning disability, and some of them have like a speech delay, or some of them don't speak at all. So we teach them sign and stuff like that.
Do you do that?
Well, not me. We have teachers at school. Okay. I'm not that fluent in sign as yet, but I'm getting there.
I see that.
Yes.
So you're moving your hands. I also learned. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a short break and we'll be right back after.
Yeah. Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We apologize for that brief break in transmission. Today is World Down Syndrome Day. Since 2007, this international observance has been marked on the 21st of March to raise awareness about Down syndrome and to advocate for the rights, inclusion, and well-being of people with this condition. In honor of this day, we have the pleasure of speaking with Michelle Sir Edmead, a teacher at the Cotton Thomas Comprehensive School. Michelle is here to enlighten us on this condition and her experience as an early stimulation educator for persons with Down syndrome. Welcome to GMSK, Michelle.
Thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here.
My pleasure.
Definitely is. I want to begin by focusing on the theme for this year. The theme is With Us, Not For Us. What does that mean to you?
Well, it means to me that we should have a more unified stance towards Down syndrome. Normally, we see a lot of segregation, in the community when it comes to children with special needs. So the theme highlights a lot of things of unity and inclusion.
So I asked this question before, but I'm going to ask again. What is Down syndrome?
Down syndrome is actually a genetic disorder. It's a case where they're born with an extra chromosome. We normally get 23 pairs of chromosomes, 23 from our dad, 23 from our mom, which is equaling 46. Babies born with Down syndrome also have an extra chromosome, so it would equal to 47.
So how does this affect persons living with Down syndrome? One of the things that I gathered from our previous discussion with you is that learning disabilities present.
Right. We have a lot of issues with Down syndrome children when it comes to communication and life adaptations. Most times when they have Down syndrome, sometimes they're diagnosed with another disorder called autism. This also, affects their ability to communicate effectively and also, to adapt at a younger age. Like some children, they adapt a lot of social cues, how to cross the road, etc. But in their case, it's a longer process and, they need assistance. So.
Since we're on the topic of what affects them, I was reading and I learned that things that we take for granted and we don't do as normal persons, that's the only word I can find to use, that it's sort of difficult for the children or persons living with Down syndrome. Can you tell us what are some of the difficulties they may encounter that we take for granted?
Well, like I said before, if you're in a classroom, learning how to count. So when they get older, sometimes it takes a little longer. So that's why at Cotton Thomas we accept children until 21. It's because everybody learns at different paces, and we want to encourage that to make sure that when we put them out into the world, that they're able to function when assistance is not there at all times. So, for example, counting. When they get older, you don't want anyone, if they go into a store, to rob them. Say it's something $15, they give them 50, and they don't know the correct change. So those are one of the things that we try to, encourage, those basic abilities in order to function in normal society.
Are there any misconceptions about people living with Down syndrome that you've noticed manifesting?
I can give you a great example. Recently, I didn't experience it myself, but actually I was told by one of the teachers that I teach with at the Cotton Thomas, Miss Hadia Jeffers. She told me that she went into a store to just spread awareness, and because we're having a show today, we were trying to collect gifts for the children, and she was just saying, make sure you wear your socks for the cars. She was explaining the cars, and one of them burst out and said, "So that means they're retarded?" And I like when people say those things, so we have the opportunity to educate and alert people about, different genetic disorders that we have in the society, because, I think in order for us to do better, we have to know better.
It's funny enough, I haven't heard that word in forever, because that's what most people would refer to persons.
Right.
That's so sad.
That's when, the awareness and the knowledge is being spread, because people really don't identify them as that anymore. And, it seems hurtful to others, but I like when they come and they say, does it mean that they're this way? No, let me educate you. I don't get upset at all. I love the opportunity to educate and spread awareness anywhere, any age. you know, and as a teacher and as a person of society who works with these children, it's a proud moment for me to see everybody in their socks today.
Nice. So let me ask you, other than today, when else is the public educated on Down syndrome and autism, since they're sort of the same?
You see, that's something that we're also working on. We need to have more foundations when it comes to this, because as we know, the government that just came in, they're actually implementing an aging and disability sector.
Okay.
That is something that we're working on. It's not where it needs to be right now, but when that's, you know, completely in motion, you would see more awareness programs. You would see Cotton Thomas being highlighted so much more, because I think in the Ministry of Education, we're at the back step right now when it comes to that special needs school. So I think the first step that they actually are implementing right now is creating a bigger, better, more, I don't even know the word to use, but just an innovative space for them, because I think that they're so compressed up there, where they don't have, I mean, it's effective, but we're running out of space because a lot of differently able children are coming into this world recently, you know, because of environmental factors, maybe not good enough health care. So we're seeing more of this, not only just physical disabilities, but a lot of learning disabilities, I think they call it cognitive disabilities, yeah. So we're working on that. We're coming. We're going to be back here again to talk about it when it launches. So.
Oh, nice. I like that.
All right, well, we're marking the day. Obviously, it is celebratory because it gives you an opportunity to raise awareness.
Correct.
Also, you were telling us a little bit about, you know, what's going on at the Cotton Thomas Comprehensive School.
Yeah, we have a lot. We actually had an entire week of activities started from last week. I'm not sure if you were aware. We had a whole motorcade in town where the children were marching up on the streets of Bastia, spreading awareness. Doesn't matter if you have Down syndrome or not. People were there joining in from all the different ministries, all the different, just even people with business places was coming in, supporting, buying socks. So we had our motorcade. We actually went to Seventh-day Adventist Church on Saturday to, you know, everything you do, you have to bring God in it. So we did that. And then yesterday, we had, like, you know, our planning for today, and then now we have a show, a King and Queen show for the Down syndrome.
You don't say.
Trust me, it's gonna be something to watch. I won't be surprised if one of our female contestants goes in for St. Kitts soon, because they're really spicy up there.
I like that.
Yeah, so that's what we're having today. And this isn't about Down syndrome, but next week we actually have our Autism Week, so you look out for that as well.
Definitely so.
I wanted to actually just big up the committee, because we actually got home after 7 last night, after being in school all day. And we went to the various schools yesterday to spread awareness and to big up the different student council, because they have been very inclusive. Washi, Bastia, Cairn High, Dean Glassford, all of them have been very inclusive. They actually have Crocs and Socks Day today.
Oh, nice.
Just to include Down Syndrome Day. You know, so I'm really proud. I'm really happy that, you know, we advocated and people are listening. They actually being included, and it's such a good feeling that people are really, really participating this year.
Alrighty, so we're gonna take a short break, and in honor of World Down Syndrome Day, the Anjoli Dance Company did a beautiful dance rendition. So take a look, and we'll be back.
legit.
An exotic experience.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao, bango!
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN as we continue our engaging conversation with Michelle Zaedmead, an early stimulation teacher at the Cotton Thomas Comprehensive School. Michelle, so during the break we were speaking about the socks. What do the socks represent?
Well, the socks actually represent the shape of the chromosomes. So, you know, as a unified, as people, we would say that, okay, well, let's just use the socks to represent Down syndrome, because as we know, they have a replica of the chromosomes, and you know, the mismatch, as the 47th one would be the odd one.
Yes.
So that's why we don't just wear plain black socks or plain white socks. You know, we also mismatch, as we have done here. Lovely, I love it actually.
Thank you.
And you know, I think it's a fun thing as well. So, you know, they enjoy it. Actually, they turn their pants inside out as well. I see some of them do that to add to it. Yeah.
Next year.
Next year, right?
A little bit of flair.
Yeah.
All right, so you are relatively new to the Cotton Thomas Comprehensive School. 8 months in.
I don't think the public would believe that. But I am. I actually just got there. I've been trying to get there for a while, but everything happens in God's timing. And I think this is the perfect time for me to be there, because I educated myself even more on special needs children, and I feel as if that, you know, after having my kids, you know, I'm more in a better place now mentally, where I think I'm ready to take on the challenge. Soon I feel that if the next special needs school they're gonna have is gonna be named after me.
Ooh, look at it. So what are some of your experiences since you've been at the Cotton Thomas School catering for the students that are there?
Let's see. There's pros and there's cons, of course. You know, some days it could be really stressful, because sometimes, you know, you feel like, okay, you know, we're doing really well this week, the students are calm, but sometimes, depending on whatever stress factors they're experiencing, they could come to school and just spaz out. You know, we have times where you don't even know what's happening at home. That's why we have a guidance counselor, because sometimes they need to come and intervene a lot of times. But, you know, I've seen a lot of different situations where, you know, they have students having seizures. You have to be really alert as a teacher there. You know, students having seizures, students passing out, you know, knowing their needs and not to give them too much sugar one day. You know, it's a lot to take on as a teacher. But we have a lot of help, of course, and we're really supported by our principal, Mr. Sylvester Dorr, and also our newly named deputy principal, Miss Ardane, who is Miss Browlia Ardane, who is actually a visually impaired teacher. So we're really supported and backed by them. You know, we're never chastised or anything when we have a hard day. The guidance counselor is also free of use for us. We can go anytime, any day. She's always open for us, because as much as the children need them, we as teachers need it too, because, you know, we're going through our own stuff at home. You know, and coming to school, and not every day is Christmas, as we call it. We say it in layman's terms here. And, you know, the days have been hard. Sometimes children come to school and they're just rebelling. You don't even know why. Sometimes it's like, am I doing something wrong as a teacher? But sometimes it's just, you know, either they're having a bad day. Sometimes even what they ate, you know, would trigger those kind of responses towards us. So they have days when we just feel like, okay, we're giving up. But then, you know, one of the students, our Down syndrome students, will come and say, come give me, you know, I'll teach you, I love you. You know, the more verbal ones, or they will come and give you a hug and a kiss every single day. And that is something to wake up and say, yes, I want to go to work. Right.
Well, listening to you, it sounds as though you've learned how to weather some of the challenges that have presented themselves there.
Yes.
Also, it sounds like the community is important as well. In terms of the relationship that you say forge with the parents, how important is that to making your task easier?
It's actually one of the key factors, because we actually had a parent-teacher meeting the other day where I have been stressing for the parents to be more involved, because a lot of shame comes from them. You know, that's the emotion we get from them sometimes, that they're ashamed of their children. Absolutely. Sometimes teachers become parents at the school because they don't have the love at home. Actually, we have students there who's living in the children's home, adopted. You see a lot of that. They're homeless, just going from house to house to house to house. And it's sad because we don't have the support of the parents, unfortunately. You know, 1, 2, 3, you can count them on your fingers who you know is going to be there, but we don't. And, you know, I really want to stress to the public, if you have a child who is special needs or attends a Cotton Thomas Comprehensive School, please come support them, be there for them. Any event we have, we really would like you to be there, especially for our sports day this year. We had to push. We even had Mr. Maurice Flanders, Ike, mention it on the radio for us. Our turnout was phenomenal. But we really had to push for that. So we don't want to have to push, you know, that hard in the upcoming years. But we just want them to show up and show out for these children, because they are phenomenal children. Get to know this. I'm not saying every day is easy. It's not. It's really not. But they are really special children. Like, I would prefer to be there than in normal primary school, mainstream primary school, actually.
That's so sweet.
So yes.
So what are some of the things you would have learned from those children?
How to love, based on, well, some, you know, at home they're not getting, some of them aren't getting the love, but they still come to school and love you. How to open up my heart from just my children to other children, because I love them like my own. I will give them our last, and all the teachers up there feel that way. We go so hard for these kids, and sometimes I said, man, I'm doing all of this, and I wonder if I'm doing the same for my kids, because, you know, everything is them. Yeah. I'm at home on my laptop, typing, what I could do to, you know, searching, and what I can do, you know, to help them and try to make education easier for them, how to make, you know, school fun, a welcoming environment, you know. I have a student, his name is Anthony Williams, and he, every day, is challenges with him. But at the end of the day, as much as I say, you know, Anthony, can you sit down for me, please? You know, begging him, because he's just all over the place. You know,
is he the dancer?
Everything. Everything under the sun, this boy is. And at the end of the day, he said, teacher, I love your body now. I said, Anthony, I love you too. Sometimes he comes to school, he said, teacher, I'm going to buy you a sucker today. I said, buy it and me and you're going to share it. So, you know, you learn to really love and open up your heart and open up your mind as well. And it is actually pushing me to further my education in special needs, because I want to be the best. I want to be the best self for them. You know, I don't want to go in there with just the bare minimum. I want to be the best version of me for them, you know? So it's really inspiring to be there. It pushes me to be better, more patient. You know, a lot of things that I probably did not realize that I didn't have before. You know, they open up my mind to a lot of things. So.
It sounds like it's a mutually beneficial relationship.
Yup. I think I needed them more than they needed me.
It's good that you're with them every day.
Yes.
So do you have any advice in our closing moments to caretakers of children with special needs, children with Down syndrome?
Yes. I think that we need to be patient. I think we need to educate ourselves, of course. As I said, if you know better, you do better. I think you need to have an open mind. You also need to have an open spirit as well, and you have to be willing. You can't just do because you can't just be for the money or for the paycheck. It really can't be about that. You have to have an underlying passion for it, or else you would not succeed. Trust me on that one. You would not. Because a lot of people come in and they leave and they can't take it because it's not something that they want to do. You have to want to do it. So you have to have a special love for your job in order to keep pushing, because as I said before, it's not easy.
But definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Definitely worth it.
Hearing your passion, honestly, I'm sure that you've inspired a lot of people today.
I really, really hope so. I want them to come out, wear their socks, any event we're having. Please show up, even if you don't have a student there. Come and support these children. They really need it. Some of them don't have the love at home, as I said. So seeing people there, pushing for them, motivating them, spiritually aligning them with the things that they need to be aligned with. All of that is really important. As I said, raising a child takes a community, and same for them. They need the entire world.
Well, thank you for being part of that world and sharing that world with us.
It has been an honor, and it would be a lifetime honor.
Thank you very much. More GMSKN in a moment, everyone. Stay tuned.
Dreamy Decor specializes in flowers for all events, from birthdays to weddings and any other special occasion. What's a better way to express to the people you love than by providing the finest selection of beautiful flowers and gifts? So when you think of flowers, think of us, Dreamy Decor.
Cheers.
An exotic experience.
No cash, no card, no problem. JAD. Embrace the freedom.
Yeah.
An exotic experience.
Yo, what up? It's your boy and Richie right here at Studio 327. I'm here to give you the promo that you guys need because this is something special for St. Kitts. I'm telling you, tune in to Good Morning SKN, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and on Moen Channel 4. Also, I realize nobody else is doing this. Follow the Good Morning SKN Instagram at Good Morning SKN and the Studio 327 Inc. Instagram. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook. This is pretty long, but follow us and yeah.
Good morning, SKN. This is Lyrical. I just want to say blessings to you. There are a happy place in the life if you live in there. A happy place in the life if you live in there. Cause them at a happy place in the life. And they can't change. And they just come out here to do right. So whether day or night, they will never ever change. Blessings, blessings, and blessings.
Both the book and the film series of Harry Potter created by J.K. Rowling have captured the hearts of many people around the world. So much so that there have been over 5 million copies of the books sold worldwide. So Jamie, have you ever read or seen any Harry Potter series?
Seen. Not read.
Okay. None of the above I have accomplished. I've only been on a ride. That's it. That's it. So due to international love for this magical world, fans have wondered which of the 4 Hogwarts houses they would be assigned. So Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, or Slytherin. So even they had houses. We have blue, green, yellow, whatever they have. Okay. So, have you ever considered this before? The fact that you watched it.
I don't even know what the houses are. I learned that today.
Okay, we both learned that today. We're learning something new as well. So in any event, we will be discovering which Hogwarts house, yes, it's sports time in the studio, each of us would be in by taking a quiz created by Brainfall. So without further ado, let's begin. And the sports is on. Wow. So you are making a PowerPoint presentation for a class project. You take charge, organize everyone, and end up doing almost everything. You do as little as you can at the perks of group projects. You do a little of everything. You do most of the research and writing, but let other people make it flashy.
My option isn't there, so I'm obviously not in the Hogwarts house.
So
I'll pick the closest thing.
Okay, you pick first.
I need to think about it because my option is actually not there. So
it's not there?
You go. No, it's not.
Wow. You know what I'm gonna do? A little of everything. I'm gonna do a little of everything because I'm not researching and writing everything and then they just make it flashy. Then they get the easy life. Flashy is easy. So I'm gonna do a little bit of everything. I'm gonna research. I'm gonna throw in a little sprinkles. I'm gonna do everything. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, my option isn't there. I'm not even gonna debate that. It's just not there. Okay. All right.
What would your option be though?
I'd probably be the flashy one. But it's not there. As in, I would make it flashy. I wouldn't let other people make it flashy because communication is a thing. It's a skill. Okay. But that being said, I'd probably take option A as the next best thing.
Take charge. Wow. What? Okay, I want to be in your group. Be in your group. You do everything? Wow. Yeah, but then it will make sense to be in the group with the person that does everything because then you won't know anything when... Say the teacher has an inkling that you did everything and then just call out one of us. Any problems.
Yeah.
Oh, so I knew it was Jamie who did everything. I knew you students didn't do that.
Do you cheat in class? The options are absolutely not. You try not to, but sometimes it's the only way to stay afloat. Oh, the pressure. Yes, a fair amount. Everybody does it. If you count sharing answers and helping friends who are struggling. So which of these answers would I take? I'd ask you.
I'm between 2 and 4, you know. Because I try not to, but you know, sometimes, you know, you just need a little help, you know.
Well, time to pick one.
I'm trying.
All right, mine is absolutely not.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the second one. I'm gonna be honest.
You try not to, but sometimes it's the only way to stay afloat. That's yours. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, but in most cases, I hardly ever cheated. So when you die, you hope to be wealthy enough to provide for many generations of your family, have achieved success and traveled the world, be surrounded by lifelong friends, have learned everything there is to know. Technically, as Miles Monroe say, I want to die empty. So, wow. Have success and travel the world.
All right, that's yours.
Wow, that's rough.
That's yours?
No.
Oh, you didn't pick it? Okay. No. I thought you did.
You can go ahead and let me think some more.
Well, option D is not an option because no one can learn everything there is to know.
Exactly.
So that's eliminated right away. I suspect that if you're wealthy enough to provide for many generations of your family, somewhere down the line, those generations wouldn't care how you earned the money, so they'd easily squander it. Yeah. So that's out for me.
I'm gonna go with B, Jamie.
That's you.
Yeah.
You're B, I'm C. Be surrounded by lifelong friends.
Okay. I'm gonna go with. I can't guarantee everybody can fly from where they are to come to be by my bedside, so I'm gonna just be practical. See the whole world.
All right, you see a group of bullies picking on a nerd. Wow. Why do you have to scar people right now? I'm telling you, some of you are scarred, aren't you? All right, so here's what you do. You either go up to the bullies and yell in their faces. Oh yeah, make yourself a target. That sounds about right, doesn't it? Find the nerd afterwards and reach out to him, when no one else is around, so that way you won't be in his place tomorrow. Sympathize with the nerd, but walk on by because, you don't associate with him really, so you won't even say anything to him.
Not cool.
Or think it's a little funny. It's like, hey, look at that guy.
Yeah, he's getting beat up. That's so cool. I think I'm gonna make myself a target right here.
Oh yeah?
Especially, I love me some of those differently named people called ends. Not the bad ends.
But here we go. You see not one bully.
I'm going to listen.
You see a group of bullies.
He's gonna help me in the fight. So all of we gonna be fighting.
Let common sense prevail for a second. It's a group of bullies. It's not.
No, but he need help, man, Jamie. The man need help. Okay, but let me take half of the blows and he don't take some of the blows. It make no sense to reach out to him after he done blows up. No, so let me go in and help him fight. So I go in with one. I taking some blows for the nerd. I'm gonna be nice.
Yeah, let me be practical for a second. Gotta reason this up.
I taking the blows.
All right. I'll do two of them, but the one that I'll do first, and I'll explain it just a little bit. I'll find the nerd afterwards and reach out to him.
Okay.
If we strike up a friendship, or if I can convince him to stand up to the bullies, the next thing that I would do if it happens again is go up to the bullies, but I'd clear if it's okay with the nerd first. So number two would be me. Find the nerd afterwards and reach out to him.
Okay, I get beat up with the nerd. Or I beaten them because I aim in for the first things, especially if they're guy bullies, yeah.
Yeah, but then you might do that, and then it might trigger a whole set of other things because the nerd can't defend himself, right? So
me and the nerd just switch schools.
What happens when you're not around?
We switch schools.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we moved to different states.
Uh-huh.
Which of these entertainment professions most appeals to you? Agent, screenwriter, major movie star, entertainment lawyer.
Yeah, like you didn't know. Entertainment lawyer.
I figure you're gonna pick that one. I'm gonna do major movie star. Already said that's Jamie right there.
How do you flirt with someone you like? Oh wow, here we go. Let's see if my option is there. And then you're gonna give away all my secrets. Now they're gonna know, aren't they? It's like everybody else is gonna know. Oh, that's what he's doing.
I like it. I like
all right,
it.
so you don't. You will tell someone straight up if you like them. So there's no flirting. It's like, I mean, seriously, you just see it and you just go, I like you. Like, hello, yeah, maybe, and yeah, never mind. Try to have a real deep conversation. Who wants to have a deep conversation? So that's all you flirt?
Maybe
wow.
You're flirting to know them.
No, that's like, no, that's too much. Seriously.
All right. Okay.
You make witty jokes and smile coyly to charm the pants off. Smile. What's the word? That's a smile or smile. Yeah. So you make witty jokes and smile coyly to charm the pants off them. Let's leave the pants on. You deliver great.
Tell me why. We didn't need that visual.
Well, it's there.
But you gave us a visual.
You deliver a great cheesy pickup or wink at them. Yeah, I'm gonna be C.
Me too. But keep the pants on.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Wear suspenders.
Yeah.
Pants are not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Wear suspenders.
In high school, your favorite extracurricular activity, what's wrong with my tongue? Was student government, a sports team, a students club, a debate or academic team? I think I know Jamie's, but yeah. I can see you being 2, Jamie. No, 3 actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you're asking me what my favorite one was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your favorite.
Because I actually did more than one.
Yeah, that's why I said I see 3 being you. 3 of them.
My favorite one was probably debate.
Debate, I figured.
Yeah.
So my favorite one would be the sports team. Yeah. I just like to be running all over the place. So that's why I still walk a little fast sometimes. So the sports team.
All right, you get home from the corner store. Wow, lucky you made it. All right, and notice you were a little undercharged. Do you drive back to the store and pay the difference? Don't worry about it. It's only a few dollars off. It says you got a discount. We'll tell them the next time you shop there, if you ever go back, where you just can't believe your luck. Hey, this is a great day. Stars are aligned. What do? Okay, so I would drive back to the store and pay the difference the next day or sometime after that, the next time I'm there. I'm not going to make a special trip just to go back to give you $25, $5. I'm not going to do that. I'll take my receipt. I'll show you, okay, this is what it was.
Yeah, and here's your money now. So yeah, so I'm going to go back, but the next time. So I'm not going to not ever go back. The fact that I know I owe you money, I'm going to go back. But to drive all the way, but if they owe us, won't we drive all the way back to say, hey, you owe me $20, I want my $20. So maybe I should drive back. Okay, I'm gonna drive back to the store and pay the difference. Because if they owe me, I'm going back that same day. I want my money. So your favorite idea of a worthwhile summer vacation is hanging and catching up with friends back home, parachuting or diving off the cliffs of Acapulco, curling up with a good book on the porch, summer school. Parachuting and diving off the cliffs of Acapulco. That's me, right there.
We did say it was worthwhile, right? So summer school. Let's make the most of it.
I was hoping you didn't pick summer school. Why would you go to summer school?
Just make the most of it. Just make the most of summer.
I just knew you were going to pick summer school.
It's going to be worthwhile.
Wow. Wow.
All right. So you hear that a girl in your class just switched to writing the same essay topic you've been working on since September. What do? Make an appointment with the professor and slip in how you came up with the idea first. It's like, yeah, it's not our idea, it's mine. I hold it, I call dibs here. Resent her from afar, but say nothing. It's like, oh, you.
Guacamole?
Don't care. Your good work will speak for itself. Or you confront her and ask her not to copy your idea. How dare you copy my idea? This is mine.
You sound like a whack-a-mole garbage.
Yeah, like I said, I don't care. I really don't. That's me. It's there. You guys ought to have predicted that, right? Your work ought to speak for itself.
Yep. My answer as well. Definitely. I'm not resenting anybody, and I'm not confronting anybody. What if she doesn't even know? So how do you get your time alone when you want it? Tell your friends it's reflection time and retreat to your room. Cancel on a movie date with friends. Disappear for long periods without a word. Do errands or go for a drive. I want to say disappear for long periods without a word. Or maybe just tell them I can't make it, yo. It makes no sense to have people over and then retreat to your room. That's crazy. I would never come back at your house. So, I would say disappear for a minute, man. They'll understand. Someone disappear. With the friends I have, they'll understand. I won't have to explain myself.
Yeah, but my option isn't there. So you're going to create a whole new school for me.
I want to know your option. What is your option?
It's going to be called Jogwarts. That's the house that I'm in. Okay. I exercise.
Okay. You're
so it's not there. But the closest thing would be to do errands or go for a drive. So we'll take that one. All right. When planning a group trip, I don't know, my eyes are playing tricks on me. Maybe it's a fun. I was going to say ground trip. It's like, where are you going to go? Greyhound, ground trip? Really, what is that? All right. So when planning a group trip, you are the only one who worries most about travel plans and lodging. You probably take the responsibility of planning if you can. You let others worry about destinations and logistics. You're along for the wild ride. Or you follow the leader and cast your vote when needed. You're on the trip to relax, not stress. Or finally, you recommend some planning options. You're the backup leader. Well, first of all, I don't go on a group trip, so hey, this is fine. But if I were to plan it, like I said, you know, I was actually serious. So Rochelle, if you're watching, I still want that Brazilian trip with you guys, you and Leisha. That's my cohort from God knows over a decade now. But let's see. Okay, I would probably recommend some planning options and be the backup leader if necessary.
Okay. I'm gonna go with C. I'm following the lead. I'm casting my vote when needed. I'm on the trip to relax. I ain't got no time to stress. See, I'm thinking of parasailing, cliff diving. Yeah, I ain't got time for this. So I'm gonna do C.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't let all this worry about the destination and logistics. This is crazy. Then why am I gonna trip then if I'm not sure of what's going on?
Yeah, I've seen movies. Do you ever?
Maybe B can work for spring break.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe. It's a wild ride. I'm just thinking about the movies long term. Yeah, let others plan it. You go left, right?
Ooh.
And that's funny saying it. You go left, right? Yeah, yeah. But you get it.
Listen, those signs in the road probably misled a lot of people, you know, because you get there, you don't know your directions. You see right, you see left. Which way do you go? You remember like Scooby-Doo? They could have always gone the other way, but they always chose a path that had the monsters on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that cartoon. That was my cartoon.
Yeah, I'm in the house of Scrappy Doo here. Let's go. That's my house because I created some options here. Let's see if we get them.
Oh my gosh. Oh my word.
So we're going to find out which houses we belong to.
Yeah.
Some of you have already picked your houses.
I wonder. Somehow I have a feeling that I'm going to be in the slithering house. So I'm a slimy slitherer.
Aha.
How I feel.
You know what the good thing is? If we don't get the results today, we'll have to give them tomorrow. So it looks like we're going to have to give you the results. Oh, wow. Yeah, we weren't saved at all. Wow. We weren't saved by the speech.
Tomorrow is, I don't even know. Yesterday is ayer. That's ayer. Huh? What? That's me? Oh, I'm a griffin? What's a griffin though? So I am bold, passionate, and brave. Of course, I like the adventurous thing. The only thing I won't mess with is a snake, and you all know that. You have a highly defined sense of right and wrong, and you are not afraid to speak your mind or fight for what you want. Yeah. So I'm gonna stick with the griffin. Can't wait to see where you are. Are you a griffin too?
You guys can wait to see, right? Yeah.
No, we can't wait. We need to know. We need to know what Jamie is.
All right, so I'm a Hufflepuffer. Can you imagine that? That just sounds wrong in any event.
So him.
So you are reserved, rational, and down to earth. You work well with others, are a great team player, and you always take a stand against injustice. Who knew that my whole life story could be summed up in about 4 lines?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Amazing, huh?
This is scary.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
But it is true. I must say that's truly me, and Jamie fights for injustice.
Get it? It's scary. It's Harry Potter. You see the pun, right? All right.
Alrighty, guys. With that said, we hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, and you can let us know in the comment which house you belong to in the sporting game of life. So stay tuned. Much more after this short break.
What will it take to grab the attention of someone with the power to make your dream come true? 7 hopeful entrepreneurs in search of the finances necessary to take their ideas to the next level.
This is their lives, right? This is their business.
4 savvy business owners ready to make a pragmatic investment.
You can't help people if you can't help yourself. First you make the dollar and you give the dollar.
Why you take your business offline?
I really feel that you need to do a little bit more research.
Very knowledgeable. Super knowledgeable.
You have a great idea and a great concept. I think you'd be snapped up by Disney.
If you have a job someplace, it means that if something is not working, you can walk away.
Who will invest?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Thank you. And who will be sent home with nothing? I am your host, Kevin Hope.
Good morning, SKN. This is Lyrical. I just want to say blessings to you. There are a happy place in the life if you live in there. A happy place in the life if you live in there. Cause them at a happy place in the life. And they can't change. And they just come out here to do right. So whether day or night, they will never ever change. Blessings, blessings, and blessings.
Good morning, SKN. Wagwan. Yo, this is Bensley Lad coming to you live from Jamaica. You see it, go already. See me. See me, I say Caribbean people stand up and I love this. This show is very important. You understand me? Yeah, man. Studio 327. Bensley Lad. It's a big up. See me, I say. I'm the whole innocent crew. Yeah, man. More love.
Good morning. This is Karen of Paris and support from Paris, Vermont. I want to encourage y'all to sign on to Good Morning SKN every morning from 8 to 10 at Studio 327. Thanks.
We are celebrating international observances all day long, and earlier today we reflected on World Down Syndrome Day, and in this segment we will be recognizing World Poetry Day. Did you know that for the past 4 years, the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College, or CFBC, has hosted a poetry circle in honor of this day? Well, frankly, I didn't know, but I know now. So, CFBC is back again with its 5th annual poetry circle. Sunita Daniel, Director of Library Services, is here to give us the inside scoop on this event. You know how we love inside scoops. So, pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Daniel. Thank you for joining us on GMSCAN.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
Our pleasure.
Today is, in fact, World Poetry Day. In 1999, the UNESCO, at its general meeting, it set aside March 21st to celebrate poetry, to try to revive this oral tradition, this dying art form. And at the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College, we started 5 years ago to celebrate this International Day with a poetry evening.
The theme for this year, a very good initiative, by the way, as you rightly said, it is a dying art. I think we noticed that. The theme for this year is always be a poet, even in prose. Explain that to us. What does that mean to you?
Well, my understanding is that, you know, our poetry and prose, they are various forms of writing. And I think that there are various forms of writing, and they are used to communicate ideas. And I think that Charles Baudelaire, who is the author of that quotation, I think he is trying to encourage writers, whether you're writing in prose or in poetry, that you can be creative and use your imagination. Don't just stick to the technicalities of writing, but also to let your writing be your voice, so you can be creative and imaginative in your use of words. And so I think that's, you know, to me, prose can be straightforward. We know poetry, poets tend to deliver with with powerful expressions and rhythm and so forth, whereas prose, in my opinion, is more straightforward. But I think all forms of writing, we can use creativity and our imagination in the writing process.
So why is it important for the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College to observe this particular day, since you mentioned before that poetry is a dying art?
Well, we at the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College, the only indigenous tertiary level institution in the country, we recognize that it's a dying art form. We also do recognize the importance of poetry in the lives of our residents. And so we have decided to help to promote this dying art form. We are trying our best to try to help it to flower and to endure, because we do recognize that it's very important for poets, for people to be able to express themselves, for them to be able to, their voices on different topics in the society. And so we provide that important forum, and we say it's a national linguistic and cultural event We'll be having poets from across the Federation, and so we feel that as the only indigenous tertiary level institution that's part of our ambit, we should try to promote literature, promote poetry, and other art forms.
Well, that's great, because when I hear you say that you're going to have poets from across the Federation, it's a great way to identify who they actually are. That's one thing, because I don't think that, from my experience, I know maybe one or two. But when you're doing that, you're also planting the seed, I would suspect, to say, well, poetry is something that a lot of people should get into, can get into, and here's why. So it might be that fire that you start, that spark that you start. Personal question here. Have you written any poetry?
Well, I tried to dabble in one poetry like last year. My minister of my church, Reverend Bunny Byron, she was retiring, and I tried to put some words together. But I am one of those who believe in poetry must rhyme, but poetry, the words don't have to rhyme.
So your words didn't rhyme. Is that the way is that what you're saying?
I tried to make them rhyme.
Oh, you tried to make them rhyme. How successful were you on a scale of 1 to 10?
I think 6.
That's close enough. You get a passing grade.
So do you have a favorite poet?
My favorite poet is...
You got so many, huh?
Yeah, but I like to hear Louise Bennett.
Okay.
And I like to hear, her monologues, her performances, and when she spoke to what were the social issues in the society, she spoke. So
that sounds interesting.
I like, so the economic situation in Jamaica. She was very colorful in her expressions, and she used a lot of the Jamaican
lingo,
local lingo expressions. I really enjoy them, and so
you're making me want to go look for that.
Oh, definitely so. Definitely so.
Yes.
I'm going to do that after today, so thank you for introducing that. All right, so let's talk specifically about some of the poets that will be participating in this year's event, the 5th Annual Poetry Cycle. Do you have their names already?
The names, yes. We have 22 poets who will be performing this evening, and they include notable poets from the Federation, like Crichton Pension, Lachlan Tatum. We have James Galloway. We have some of our CFPC alumni, Carla Astafan. James Galloway is also a CFPC alumni. We have Tatum, Lachlan Tatum. He's a published poet. And also Hansel Manners from Nevis. Okay. We have some of our student poets like Jazara Andrews. She recited at the Buckley's commemoration event the other day, and so she is one, and also Rochelle Dabio. They are both students at the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College. We have Dr. Huon James, and who is a counselor and he writes poetry. We have Lesroy Williams. He also is an adjunct at the CFPC, so they would be performing. Michelina, Charles Hazel, there are also some of the poets who will be performing. We have Numero Unoma, who is Nigerian, resident in Nevis. We have a good lineup.
You really do.
The best.
You really do. It sounds like it.
I think I'll dare say it's a national event in poetry.
Definitely sounds like it.
Indeed. So is there anything that's different with this year from the previous years, the other 4 years that would have come by?
Yes, this year we are fusing it with music. So we are, so both poetry and music will converge, and this evening we will have Linnell Bingy Paris out of Nevis on the drums. We have Alex Condell on the saxophone, and Mandy Byron, a CFPC alumnus, who will perform on the steel pan. So both music and poetry will converge this evening at the CFPC.
All right, so we're almost out of time, Mrs. Daniel, but again, I want you to remind us of the time of the event. We know it's at the CFBC, but what time does it begin?
It begins at 5 p.m. sir.
I like that, sure.
All right. Admission is free, no admission?
No admission. And we'll have an exhibition of books published by local poets will be on display.
Wow, that's wonderful. So it sounds like a great event to go to. We want to thank you for coming and sharing that with us. Thank you for, hey, giving me a point to look at. Jamaican lingo, parlance, and all of those other things.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. And thank you for joining us today for another edition of GMSKN. We invite you to tune in daily to find a little bit of everything for everyone. And we ask you to get your friends and family members to watch. Follow us on our social media platforms. You ought to know what they are by now, but if you don't, it's easy. Studio 327. It's on Facebook and YouTube. We're also on Instagram at Good Morning SKN. Like, subscribe, follow, share. Let us know that you are watching, and also visit our website at www.studio327inc.com.
Yes, and leave us a comment and let us know what was your favorite part of today's show. And see you tomorrow on Hump Day at 8 a.m. when you will wake up and start your morning promptly with us right here at Good Morning SKN. Thank you for watching. Be nice to someone today, and remember to celebrate all the international days, including It's Crunchy Taco Day. So grab yourself one. Enjoy. Bye.